Missy, and today I'm here to give you guys a gush review of the book The House of Vesper Sands by Peric O'Donnell, an Irish writer who is debuting his story here in the United States, which I'm so excited to share with you guys because this is my first 5-star read of the year. Yes, I gave it 5 stars. It was absolutely amazing. Let's get into the review. So we have a book that hits all of my buzzword boxes. We have London. We have 1893, so it's going to be the Victorian era. We have a murder mystery. We have gothic. We have a seamstress who either jumps out of a window or is murdered from a window, who has words stitched into her skin, an actual like clue of some sort into her skin, which is very, very interesting to me. Just that synopsis right there made me want to say yes when Tin House asked if I wanted to review this book, because that sounds awesome and I have never read that before. This is a new concept. So we have a historical fiction, Victorian era London, dirty London story, which I absolutely love. Those are my favorite. And we have 2 seamless stories that are going to combine at the end. We have a detective duo. We have Inspector Cutter and Sergeant Gideon Bliss. And then on the other side, we have Octavia, who is a journalist working for the Gazette. So we have those 2 stories. I'm going to talk about the first one, talk about the second one, and then tell you my thoughts. So the first one is Inspector Cutter and Gideon. Now, Inspector Cutter is staying at a house. The landlord is very broody and she doesn't trust anybody and she doesn't answer her door. Then we have Gideon Bliss, who is a student from Cambridge. He is working on getting his, it's not a license or a certificate. He's in seminary school, basically, learning divinity, and his uncle, the benefactor, is paying for his schooling. His parents died when he was young, so his uncle has sort of raised him, not really. He put him in boarding school his entire life, so he doesn't know much about his uncle, and he wants to learn more. He's also starting to lose, not faith, but not really enjoying his studies of, you know, becoming a clergyman. He doesn't want to do that anymore, but he doesn't want to look ungrateful, and he keeps trying to contact his uncle and allow him to like figure out what he does for a living. Like, he wants to get to know his uncle more. One day his uncle sends a letter that says something super cryptic, and Gideon thinks that this is an emergency and he rushes to London to find out what's going on. But when he arrives, his uncle is missing. He doesn't come to the door. Gideon's new to the town, so he doesn't know where to go, and he ends up sleeping or trying to sleep in this empty church. But when he goes into the church, he comes across a woman who is very ill, very sickly, and he so happens to know this girl. And then he gets chloroformed. I don't know if that's the verb, but someone, you know, puts him to sleep. And when he awakens, the girl that he knows is gone. And now he's got 2 mysteries, or 3, if that's what you want to say. First, where's the girl? He's very much interested in where she is because he knows her, he cares about her, she's from his past. 2, where is his uncle? Is he in danger? Is he dead? Gideon needs help. 3, what is going on? Who just, you know, knocked him out? What does he do now? Those are the 3 mysteries he's having to deal with. And so he decides to backtrack and go back to his uncle's house. Maybe he missed his uncle and maybe he'll be there now. When he gets there, he runs into Inspector Cutter, who is working on a murder mystery because the seamstress has either jumped from the window or has been murdered and pushed out, and he needs to know what happened to this woman. But Gideon, you know, having the thought like, ooh, I need to learn more, and the only way I can do that is if I get in with this cop, and the only way I can do that is if I pretend to be the sergeant that he is waiting for. So that's what happens. He is now Sergeant Gideon Bliss, and Inspector Cutter is now running to Half Moon Street to, you know, investigate this murder/suicide of the seamstress. That's where we are with the story when we first start. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because no spoilers, right? Now we have the second part of the story, Octavia, the journalist. So Octavia is from a newspaper family. Her and her brother, Georgie, were adopted by an older gentleman that they call grandfather. He used to either own the Gazette, the newspaper that is from their, you know, town, or he worked for it. But I think he was the owner of the Gazette. And so everybody gives Octavia a little bit of leniency because she's a woman. Normally women don't write for the paper. And her editor is very Mr. Healy. He's very stingy when it comes to stories. He won't give her any headlines like she keeps requesting unless it's frivolous and it talks about the occult or society or things that will make readers stop and read and gossip, because that's what he thinks all girls want to do, is just gossip and read about silly, frivolous things. But Octavia is a modern woman. She wants to write about hard-hitting stuff. She wants to write about the murders. She wants to write about the missing girls. And she wants to write about Lord Strife, who is also missing. He was supposed to be this, you know, very popular dandy. He is a bachelor. And he's supposed to be at this party that she was at, and he never shows up, and she wants to know why. And so she goes to investigate. But she can't investigate, you know, out in the open because her editor told her she has to write a story on the spiriters, which is the occult, which is seances and stuff like that. And so she tries to do both. And in order to do so, she has to go into her circle of friends and pull some people to also help investigate, keep their ears and eyes open on anything Lord Strife. So she recruits her brother, and she also recruits a very flamboyant man named Elf. Now, that's not his real name. That's his nickname. He likes to be called Elf, but he has his ears and his hands in all of the pots. And at one point in time, he did somewhat propose. So there's that kind of history among them. So those two stories are going full force, one on top of the other. Now, it's not a every other chapter. It switches point of view. It's, you know, just whenever the story has a lull, so that way the other person can speak. This is a third-person written story, so you have the narrator seeing both sides and letting us know what's going on with the characters. I like third-person. Just feel like it's more theatrical than if it's like, oh, I'm running to the train and I wish you would just wait, because then that's too familiar. Am I making sense? Let me know down below if you like to read stories that are more theatrical, or if you want to be in on the action and have the writer actually be talking to you. You know, like you're like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I don't want it to be so intimate. I want it to be like I'm seeing them on a stage. That's more what I like. It doesn't matter. Anyways, they end up meshing at the end, and the story completes in a pretty good rounded way. There were two things that happened at the end, like two endings almost. Kind of like if you like Shawshank Redemption, how there's like, it seems like there's going to be an ending, and then it seems like there's going to be another ending, and then there's an ending. The same thing happens here, where like I thought it was going to, you know, close and conclude a certain way, and then it concluded a different way, and I was like, oh, okay, I like this way better. I was totally prepared for this ending, but I like this ending more. So yeah, I hope that was a very good review. Let me just, it was good. I liked it. I liked the characters. I absolutely loved Elf. I think Elf was it was Elf and Cutter that were my favorite. Cutter because he was very broody, and Elf because he was very flamboyant. The dialogue was really good. I spent a lot of time during the book chuckling out loud because of, you know, the dynamic between Cutter and Gideon. Cutter's always like, ugh. Like, it's so heartwarming when you have this very rigid, no nonsense, like very serious man, and then you have his like apprentice or a younger male who is looking up to him, and he just acts like defeated all the time or exasperated. Like, those are my favorite dynamics, where the person is just like, why can't you just do what I ask you to do? Or why can't you just know what I'm talking about? Or why can't you just spit it out? Those are my favorite. And that's how Cutter and Gideon is. They have a very fun, fatherly son relationship, where Gideon's very naive but eager and really wants to please Cutter, and Cutter's exasperated and just like, ugh, I don't know how I got stuck trying to mentor you, but this is not what I do in life. I'm trying to catch a killer, and you are dragging me. Like, we're too slow. But he also is like starting to like Gideon, and so he kind of just like allows him to flourish under his guidance, which I absolutely loved. And then we have Octavia and Georgie's relationship, the brother and sister. I absolutely loved that. And then we have Octavia and Elf. Their dynamic is very twisted, and like I said, they have a history, and so it's fun for them to play off of each other. I really liked that. There's very strong characters. Like I said, we have Octavia, and we have Lady Ada, who is Lord Strythe's sister. We don't meet her until like the middle of the book, but she's such a very strong character as well. And then we have the murder mystery itself, the missing girls, who the spiriters are. We have a nice seance that gives us clues during that time period. I really liked it. I love murder mysteries, especially if it starts off with the detectives, you know, procedures, like what they do, how they're getting their clues, and so forth. And if you look at the back, it says, with all of the wit of Jane Austen, but the beguiling case of Sherlock Holmes. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely loved it. So thank you again, Tin House, for sending me this arc. I am definitely going to buy myself a hardcover of this, and then when I do, I will give this one away to one of you guys. You guys can also have the, what is this called? Postcard. Oh, it's from Portland, Oregon. Tin House is in Portland. I want to move to Portland. Is anybody that watches me from Portland or from Oregon? Let me know down below. I want to move there. I despise California. I hate the hot. It's hot right now. I'm dying. Alright, anyways, that's it. I just wanted to share with you guys, gush about this new book that came out last week on the 12th. I apologize this review is so late, but I did put it on Goodreads on time, and I think that counts. I will leave my Goodreads link down below in case you want to read the review, because it usually is more put together than my thoughts. I can't speak properly. My husband says I should probably like write out everything that I'm going to say in a video, but I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that. Anyways, okay, I'm done. Goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.